become best friends?
Yup.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Big part of friendship.
I like you. Do you like me?
I do like you.
You are my friend?
You're a nice young man, and I am your friend.
Shut up, Pete. We're not friends now. I don't need you anymore.
You're my best friend.
Friend requests.
The friend request?
Why you ain't accept my friend request, bro? But you don't want to be my friend.
I better not eat popcorn into the microphone.
You can.
Eh?
People like it. I get a lot of messages. People are enjoying the popcorn eating.
Really?
Except for one guest who I will not name because the mics are hot.
Who doesn't like popcorn?
No, one guest ate grossly. Like the way he was eating was gross. I just saw a wave of
Wow.
consciousness come over your face. Like, yeah. You're like, oh no.
How am I eating?
Yeah. All right, let's start the pod.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
Tell me.
Not enough people eat with their fucking mouths closed.
Yeah.
Is that a bad start to the podcast?
No, it's good. I like it.
Man, I sit with my son every day. All I just say to him, eat with your mouth closed. If that's the only thing that he's learned in this world.
If that's all he learns from you.
Dad and granddad's crazy. They're the two big things. Eat with your mouth closed. Granddad's crazy.
It's good to have someone to indoctrinate.
It is. It's like having your own little cult member, a child.
Yeah, of course.
You can just
You can tell them whatever.
make them believe whatever. And then one day they end up on the open mic circuit.
Oh, no. How would you feel if your son started comedy?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I mean, it'd be crazy if I wasn't supportive. After my parents were just like, I remember telling my mum and she was like, but you're not funny.
Oh, my God. I've
My
had
parents
that.
weren't supportive at all.
Oh, God. When did they start being supportive?
Probably about 20 years in. Like just recently, this month.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Friend Request. I'm your host, Chloe Madron, and today I am joined by the wonderful, very funny
Thank you.
superstar himself, Damien Power. Thanks for coming.
I hate this bit.
You hate this bit?
Yeah, on
Well, it's
all
over.
podcasts.
It's over. It's done.
This podcast is so like casual, and then you have like an intro, like you're about to do a set or something.
I know. I didn't need to do it either. I could have just edited it in, but I wanted to make you uncomfortable.
Have to do it. Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
You do need to hold the mic a little bit closer, though.
I
I'm
do?
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry.
I turned it up a bit for you.
You know
but
me, I've always had bad mic tech.
famously. People talk about it actually a lot.
Yeah. So, will you hold the fucking mic to his face or what?
I think that I want to try a new thing where we do plugs first because people are listening at the start. And so Damien's in town because he's just put out a fantastic freaking web series. Do you want to tell the listeners a bit about it before we get
Yes,
stuck
I would
in?
love to. Do you look down the barrel to your listeners?
I do sometimes.
I think that's nice.
Most of them are
Hello.
video. Most people watch on the video. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
cool.
to. I like to talk to them.
Well, you came to the screening of my web series.
I sure did.
And it's strange to be enthusiastic about a web series, but we shot it like a like a TV show. We got a proper cinematographer and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't think people are going to tune in for the cinematography. But what can I say? It's very funny.
It
it's
is.
on Auntie Donna's production company, their channel called Grouse House on YouTube. So it's amongst a lot of other really sort of, should we say alternative, kind of weirder
Yeah,
comedy? I guess it's
yeah.
in that kind of ballpark.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of our friends in it. Becky Lucas, Sam Campbell, Aaron Gox is my co-star in it. Henry Stone, Cameron James, Mel Buddle, who's shot to fame recently.
She has.
Because of the web series. And it's really funny, and it's just free on YouTube.
Tell them what it's called.
It's called Expanded Minds Only, which I guess, it's it's hard to describe. I guess it's like a kind of like a parody of wellness, conspiracy, alien, sciencey, that kind of web cable, History Channel-ish kind of stuff. But then it just becomes deranged and violent and crazy. And
It's fantastic. I highly recommend. The screening was a pleasure. It was so much fun. And I've been rewatching it as it comes out.
there
So
you go.
That's
Just
how good it
watching
is.
Twice. So,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
You'd be crazy not to watch
It'd be
it.
crazy. Can I ask, the character and the overall like themes of it, this like wellness stuff, did you kind of stumble upon that? Because as far as I know, you've been pretty into wellness things or learning more about how to like better yourself physically and mentally.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid of death.
Is that what it is?
I don't like the idea of getting older.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it's like
That
Yeah.
sucks because you're going to do it.
I know, I'm going to get older, man. Unless
die.
There's AI and all this kind of
Oh,
shit.
so
Like we'll have
true.
pods or whatever.
So true. I actually firmly have never, like, I'm not afraid of death, but I also have complete delusions of grandeur that I don't.
You're going to live forever.
Yeah, and I've always thought that since I was a tiny child. I figured I will go to the future, and I will have my mind uploaded to the internet or
Sick.
something. And if no one else is going to do it, that it's my plan to do it, or at least like maybe build a spaceship that's a giant computer that can put out all of our brains into that, and then you got to chuck it away far from a sun because computers get hot.
Right.
That's the plan at the moment.
Brain in a capsule of some sort, preserved in a floating spaceship.
No, I want I want the consciousness in the internet or an internet.
So you mean like
thing.
there's no physicality anymore? It's just a
Yeah.
downloaded your personality in a spaceship and with other people you know?
Yeah, but like enough people to make it a civilization, because otherwise we'll kill each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So heaps of people.
That makes sense.
That's the plan.
Cool. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, well, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
And the series really does explore that. That kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like life is short, but it's also feels pretty fucking long at this point as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the living forever thing, you know.
That's a good point. I think
Yeah.
check in with me when I'm, you know, not a tiny little baby, when I'm older
Yeah.
and I've lived a little while longer.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll be
yeah.
tired by then.
Yeah, you
Who
get
knows?
tired. Take it from a 41-year-old. Not that that's old, but it's older than, you know, it's like the next thing from where you are.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say things get better, but you you care less. That's something that's
Yeah.
good. You care less and less, I think, as every year goes on, because things that used to bother you happen over and over and over and over and over again.
You realize
over,
they don't matter.
and you're just like, oh, that guy, who cares? You know what I mean?
That's good. Okay, so this is a friendship podcast.
Right,
And I want to
yeah.
get right into a bunch of stuff. Let's go all the way back to the start.
Mm-hmm.
What were you like as a kid?
Wow. Okay.
Tell me.
Holy shit. It's gonna get deep.
Yeah, it can. I almost cried on the last
Really?
episode.
Is it?
It was with my sister, so
Oh, well, that's
it was pretty
different. Yeah,
cute.
that's sweet.
I could cry with you.
Okay, well,
I have bipolar. I can cry anytime.
you could be crying when it's going well. What was it like as a kid? Well, I was the youngest of 4 brothers. So I think that it was a huge factor in like what life was like, because you know, we were in Toowoomba, 4 boys, very competitive, very physical, like footy, cricket, very big into sport.
yep.
I was big into cricket, big into footy, and just lots of bullying, lots of fighting,
Yeah.
just siblings and just crazy, you know, crazy shit, really. Yeah.
I'm being the youngest as well. Like, I'm the youngest.
You're
but
the youngest?
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have again?
Oh,
You
heaps.
have a bunch, eh?
I have
Yeah.
heaps. But
You've got a
like,
big extended sort of
yeah, I've
network.
got biologically I was the youngest, and at mum's house I was always the youngest. And then I have a younger sister, but she is technically my stepsister.
Right.
So I
that's
kind
right,
of
yeah.
experienced both. Like at dad's I had a younger sister, but she acted like an older sister anyways. So
Right,
I was
yeah.
still the weird little one that was kind of the butt of the jokes and whatnot. The one getting the rocks thrown at, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like we had a similar victimized.
And we
upbringing
haven't let
then.
go of it.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's why we're still doing stand up and stuff. That's why I'm in a cubby. in this
At
house.
41.
Yeah, with a bowl of popcorn and so Yeah, so I think I think maybe similar, like lots of, but that's what siblings do, right? I mean, it's not
Yeah,
that
totally.
crazy. But I think with the youngest of 4 boys, it was particularly heightened or whatever, or pretty intense.
Yeah.
And my dad was a very intense dude.
Yeah.
So, very intense dude. And so I guess it was a very intense and tension kind of masculine environment. 'Cause my dad was my dad was running like 3 or 4 small businesses at once, and wanted to be a racing car driver.
Yeah,
My
okay.
dad.
Yeah.
Right. He wanted to be a racing car driver. So on the weekends he'd be working on the car. And his temper was he just had nothing left.
Oh God.
So you just hear like him and my brother Will, who went on to race cars.
Yeah.
Like he's like the one that isn't the black sheep in the family.
Yeah.
Like Dad just wanted us all in motorsport.
Yeah.
And my mum sort of had to fight for us not to be in it because my brother Nick was in motorsport.
Yeah,
he was a great driver.
I didn't know
But he
that.
went on to be a dancer.
Ooh.
And I did comedy and stuff. But they'd be working on the car downstairs. You just hear them like, "Fucking where'd you put that screw? Where the fuck did you put it, Will? You fucking dropped it, didn't you?" And they'd just be they'd fight and they'd like roll up the stairs into the lounge room. I remember one time they were punching each other, Dad and Will, and then Will fell back onto the couch. And Will was like, "We got to stop or we're going to end up killing each other." And Dad was like, "Yeah." And then Will went whack and
Oh
punched
my
him in the head.
God.
So
It's like a cartoon.
yeah,
Jesus.
it was really like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just Dad's temper was a huge part of it.
Yeah. Did that make you kind of shy as a kid?
Oh, shy, yeah. Yeah.
Or-
Well, I made a lot of friends. I had a lot of good friends that I'm still friends with today from primary school
Wow.
and stuff. That we went on to high school, and then you try your best to keep in touch, but we're still friends. And
That's cool.
But I remember a really good mate of mine, Kai, who I'm still really good friends with. We met in grade 3, and we would do sketches. But we didn't know that was sketches, of course. So we didn't know what comedy was. We just would do impressions and like I guess kind of mimicking like Fast Forward or something like that. Remember Fast Forward or maybe Before Your Time, but
No,
like
I know
the
it.
idea of it
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, so I'm just remembering as we talk about it, but yeah, like I used to get up in front of the class and I fucking loved it.
Of course.
Yeah. So I guess I can't have been too shy.
Yeah, no. Okay. So it was easy to make friends. You were the classic class clown.
I was fully the class
Of
clown.
course.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
fully the
great.
class clown. So I guess it came out that way.
Did it make words? Sorry. Did it make high school easier and everything else?
Yeah, being the funny guy I think
Yeah.
is good in high school.
Yeah.
I
Much
would
better than
do
being the
impressions
crazy
of-
girl.
Yeah. was that what it was like for you?
No, I have no idea.
I love that.
Little
That's
bit.
so funny.
A little bit.
Was high school good for you or bad?
Mixed, very sexual, and I think that
Really?
yeah, I think that
Lots of boys and stuff?
and girls,
Girls as well.
everyone, anyone. I think that like I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I think it definitely hindered my ability to have lasting friendsps.
Right.
I
because
have
it was
some,
sexualized.
but yeah, a lot of people that were just kind of in the vicinity of me, and it's everyone. Everyone's horny, but I was real horny.
Everybody's horny. I think that's
Everybody's
something we can
horny.
all...
Everyone's too horny, honestly.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
It's like a disease, eh? Sometimes you just
it
like
is.
fucking just...
I
Greg
feel
Sullivan, Greg Sullivan, he's a great, great comic and a good guy too. And he said that taking antidepressants, because it lowered his libido, was like a jackhammer just stopping in his head.
that sounds nice.
Yeah, because every
Wow.
human's like that. It drives,
I mean,
I guess it drives, who knows how much of our behaviour it drives.
I think I would guess a lot of it, most
Yeah.
of it even. Feel free to put your shoes on the thing. I washed it. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool,
It's
'cause I
fine.
felt like
cross your
maybe-
legs, get comfy, do whatever the hell you want.
Because I've got
Wear
a
a flower
bad,
crown.
got a bad back at
Yeah.
my age.
I need to stop bringing old men onto this podcast.
Yeah, stop bringing old men with fucked up backs. I've got
I'm
a
gonna get
disc
sued.
problem.
Yeah, no, I do think like being in a relationship now and in a relationship that like, you know, we're going to get married. We're
Very serious.
Yeah, we're so good. And it is so nice. Just that whole part of my brain. Not that I haven't gotten rid of that part of my personality or anything, but it's nice to have that part of my brain kind of like checked off.
Yeah. You feel
I can
like
focus more.
because it's a deep relationship and you've been together. How long have you guys been together?
Only
like
a couple of years.
But
Only
still,
2 years.
it's
But
like,
yeah.
you know, a couple of years.
Yeah. It's just
is-
good too, you know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that satiates that kind of wanting to get out, meet people and do all that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
That must be calming.
It is. It really is. I have never been so productive. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so
I
great.
feel the same way about being single.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of not been pursuing relationships and I tell you what, there's nothing else to do, so you may as well just do work.
Yeah, because I can understand that if you're like genuinely single and not pursuing things, but anytime I've been single, I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't know, I guess I'll just do other things that are super distracting and like, so good on you. That's good.
Yeah. Well, they're sort of similar, I guess, is if you're in a serious relationship like you are, then you're not running around. Like people get in that state where they're like, and I've been that in the past, where you're like running around trying to meet people, hook up with people. You're just like, like this. But if you're single and you're not doing that, and like not on the apps and not any of that, and or if you're in a long-term relationship and you're like settled, then you do have a lot of time. There's a lot of time in the day. And my
so
son's
much
like
time.
13 now, so it's not like
Not as hands-on.
yeah, he's like a dude now with computer games and friends and
That's crazy.
yeah, so he's like you know, like I'm not the deal anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mum and dad aren't the deal. It's
That's
like
nice. Bit of pressure's off.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those early years are the best.
Yeah, because they're
Like,
cute.
Yeah, and you know, they're just you know, you're just their world and you're showing them the world and you're watching them see it. Like,
So it strokes your ego.
yeah, when I say it like that, it does sound like that. But
I'm his everything.
yeah, it's all about me. And then now it's not about me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go into state and do stand up. Fuck this shit. I remember my son like just discovering pepper and just going, fucking what? He's just like, whoa. So you're having all these moments and, you know, they're super cuddly and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, it's still the same now that he's older, but it's just, he's, you know, engaged in his life.
Yes.
As
of
opposed
course.
to you being the carer or whatever.
Yeah, he's becoming his own like main person.
Yeah.
It's cool. What was it like? I mean, watching him make friends and stuff from a young age.
Oh, I mean,
Was he
any
good at
parent
it?
will tell you this. Like, you obviously just like, please make friends.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
don't, you know, because I mean, you just would tug at your heartstrings so much to see him get rejected or anything like that. But Paddy's good, you know. He's good. He's a good kid. He's well adjusted. He didn't grow up in a state of perpetual terror.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. So he's made a lot of friends and still friends with them now. I mean, obviously, you know, at 13, it's not a long time, but you know, from kindy to primary school to
That's pretty decent.
high school, still hangs out with some of those original kids. And he plays sport and loves that team thing.
It's really
playing
helpful.
sport. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. So yeah, I think he's good. He's doing well at school and stuff. So I think he's good in that department. But I mean, you know, for a lot of parents, it's not that like that.
No.
So you're kind of lucky. Like, you know, like some parents, it's like we're having difficulties.
Yeah.
And God knows, you know, like you start blaming yourself and stuff. I mean, that's what parents do. You're just like, oh,
I mean,
what have
some parents, this generation maybe.
Yeah. Our parents are just like, well, it's your fault. You can deal with that in therapy years later. Yeah.
What was, have you become friends with any of the parents of his friends? Is that always, intrigues me. Because it seems awkward. Like, I don't want kids. And that's one of the many, many things that I'm glad I don't have to deal with.
Yeah, that's a great area you're talking about. I've got some fair bit of material about it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's, it's especially with the men. Like a lot of my material revolves
I
around
have
the
seen
awkward. Yeah, like Roger,
that.
Damien, it's good to we're or hanging around or whatever, because because middle-aged men, like the women seem to do it better, but who knows what's really going on, but they seem to get along better. They have a greater sense of community and stuff, and
Yeah, we're just no. I think women are just taught from a very young age to be like likable and polite and make conversation and all of these awful.
This is what women tell me. Yeah, they're just like it's not what you think.
No, absolutely not. Just be nice. We want everyone to like us.
Well, we just stand around all closed off. Like, did you get to put the fence up?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine. Because if you said anything else, you'd be gay. So
yeah,
obviously.
right. Yeah. Roger, would you like to fuck later? Or, we can fuck. While our wives are watching Desperate Housewives or whatever.
It's a good show.
It is a good show. Not that I've ever watched it, but it looks like I want to watch it, but I don't want to.
It's good
Anyway,
stuff.
what was it going to say? It's a great question, what you're talking about, the parents thing.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Yeah, I've made friends with parents.
Yeah.
Like there's a core group because we had this lucky situation because you've been to my place at Ward Street in Barton, where there's like where I was living and then the neighbours there and then the neighbours there and all the kids would play together. So they could all jump over the fence and they'd all end up at my place. So I'd end up sometimes with 6 kids and then they all you wouldn't know where they ended up by the end of the day. So
great.
he had
though.
that kind of friend thing going on when Paddy was growing up. So he was lucky.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, like that's
totally.
ideal.
And you were lucky. Like that's just awesome. It's such
totally.
it's the raised by a village kind of a thing. It's awesome.
It was like that, and I became very close to their kids, and I still see them today and stuff. And it's a bit funny now because they're older now. It's funny, because they're little kids and stuff, and you'd be parenting them and stuff, and you're quite close to them. And I saw a couple of them recently. Paddy was playing with them basketball or something at an oval, and it's just funny now they're teenagers.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, Ollie, how you going? How's your mum and stuff? Yeah, good. Stupid anyway.
She's a bitch.
Yeah. She's doing well. It's done. I don't know. And they're all just sort of like, yeah.
Oh, teenagers are freaks.
Yeah, but then I know them as these little like,
yeah,
oh my God,
exactly.
Jesus, monster, you're monster, like this kind of thing. But yeah, the parents were cool, and I don't see them much anymore, unfortunately, because I'm not there anymore, and.
Yeah.
But they were cool, yeah. But the dad thing is funny. It's awkward, and it's generally speaking, not specifically the parents that were closer to, my son and his closest friends, those guys, the neighbours and stuff. But it is a bit like you get thrown together.
Yeah.
To socialise.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's excruciating.
Yeah.
For parents, I think, because basically. The kid has a birthday party, any age under 10 or 11.
Yeah,
they have a birthday party, and you just have to go and be there. Sometimes they set it up. The parents just drop them off and and you're like, thank you.
Yeah,
and you just go. But like a lot of the time, it's like, come, and they have snacks and stuff, and you're just like. How long have the architecture businesses? Oh, it's good, yeah.
Oh, jeez. It's
so
kind
you're
of
thrown to socialise.
Yeah. But it's like what school was like, You're just kind of put there. You didn't choose to be with any of those people.
Right, yeah.
You're forced to be there purely because of geographical distance,
Location.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's weird to have that again as an adult, though. Because you've got all of your inbuilt insecurities and like weird little fucking quirks that you've been developing over 30 or 40 years. Like, oh my God, what a fucking mess.
Sorry, Roger. Sometimes I like to scream at the top of my lungs, and it's just a living nightmare that I have. If I fuck. Sorry, you were saying you've got a new marketing ploy using social media now instead of mail outs.
Yeah, fuck that. Okay, so now I don't know. Feel free to tell me if you don't want to talk about this. But how old was your son when your baby mama and you split?
I don't mind talking about this stuff just because it's not not an unhappy story, really.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wasn't like a bad thing or anything. It's just the way it planned out, that it wasn't like we weren't planning on sort of being together in a long time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I thought it'd be best if we were going to go our separate ways as far as relationships and meeting people goes, with my son was younger.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have had parental divorces at several ages because I have so many step parents and whatever.
Oh,
and
right.
the ones, my mum and dad, I was 3, and I can confirm zero trauma.
Zero trauma, yes.
Awesome relationships together now. Like it's, I think the way better move is good.
Yeah. I that's exactly what the thinking was, because, just without getting into private details, but that was just what we were going to do. And, so I thought it best before my son knew any different. And, so I guess he certainly wouldn't have been older than 5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it would have
great.
been more like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys were kind of like not planning that extended relationship, did you? It wasn't like a divorce or anything. Did you
No,
find?
we weren't married. No,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you find any like loss of friends? Was there any crossover?
Not really.
From growing together? Yeah.
Not really. I think my partner is from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And for her, Australia in general was, I think she was finding her feet and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. You had your own worlds. Kind of.
Yeah. I think I don't think so. And plus, we've always gotten on pretty well.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so we were always pretty amicable, and I certainly did everything I could to make her life good. She's the mother of my child, so I always kind of viewed it like that. It's just like she's connected to me and my son, and so she's a special person in my life.
Of course.
Not that you would ever imagine me saying that. Or you're going to find this podcast and hear me say that. But so it wasn't ugly or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what your question was now.
I was just asking you. You already answered it, but I was asking if you had any like loss of friends.
A loss of friends, yeah. No, I think the mutual parents that we were just talking about were obviously mature about it.
Yeah.
So they. I think that'd be strange. I think and immature for them to be like, really, because they're separating. Well, we're inviting Kate over for dinner, so that's right, Damien. Kate is coming over for dinner. Just a serious dad. Is that they're all builders. Like they're all builders. Yeah. You can't come over, and you certainly can't fuck me in the ass anymore. That's going to have to stop now that you've broken up with.
I liked it better when you had a partner. That's
this has
so
to end.
It's just not exciting anymore.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so this is something you spent. How old were you when you started comedy?
Well, I guess technically I was 22.
Technically?
Well,
Sorry.
I guess it wasn't stand up. That's all I meant.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd studied IT and then thought I was going to be this IT guy and had like a small business where we were developing software for this cabinet making factory. It's a little crazy story. And it doesn't sound crazy. Oh, wow. Tell us more about the cabinet making software. But it was like a business thing and it fell apart. And that part of it was crazy. Yeah. And then I was like, I used to love doing the sketches and the people and the things. And I was like good at that. So I went from this really intense like IT business, gonna make a business, to like going to acting classes when I was like about 22.
Okay.
And then in that was improv, and I was really good at the character stuff, which goes back to the primary school and the friend I was talking about.
Yeah.
And so I started putting on a night at that place under the William Jolly Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Which has gone through many incarnations.
Yep.
But there's a bar under the William Jolly Bridge in Brisbane that's opposite the Milk Factory. It used to be called the Milk Factory, I think, at one point. It used to be called Pie High. when I'm pretty sure that was it, Pie High, and the dude who ran it was just crazy, and he was just dealing pot over the counter, and he was just smoking weed at the thing.
Damn.
West End was different then.
Yeah.
In Brisbane, West End then hadn't been gentrified at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Wow.
So there were no cool clubs, no cool restaurants. And the big gentrified area there now, which is the ice cream factory, was just like artist residencies.
Yeah, okay.
So they had like this thing, and we used to drink, jump the barbed wire fence and drink on the roof of the Abso building, which was a furniture place, which is now a really fancy development of apartments and stuff like that. But yeah,
I've seen it lately. It is
really
very nicely
and
done
they've got
up.
a theatre there now.
Oh
and
my
all this sort of shit.
God.
Gone are the days of doing acid and lying on the roof. Well, I still do that, but security are like, you can't make
People get mad now.
angels, like this in the middle of the cafe.
Not on cement either.
Yeah,
It's
you're
certainly
just
not
bleeding
snowing.
and shit. You're like, fuck. Yeah, it's certainly not snowing. Yeah. So I started doing these improv nights.
Yeah.
Where they were doing, and see, I didn't realize how crazy this was, because they were running improv nights, and I was like, yeah, I'm good at the comedy thing. I do the improv at acting school. I'll do these improv nights, and they were just in really rough pubs.
Yeah, right.
Which now looking back
It's
was
insane.
fucking
In Brisbane.
in Brisbane.
In, I imagine, what, the 50s? How old?
In 1987, can you imagine? In 2000 and probably 4, 5.
Fuck. I mean,
20 years
improv
ago.
in Brisbane now is still rough.
Oh my God. But they have places now.
Jesus, yeah.
So we'd have I remember I was shitting bricks, but we'd be in the Boundary Hotel. Something else. Anyway, and there was a pool table and just people drinking. And we had radio mics.
Like a little
and
Justin
we'd sit
Timberlake
there,
mic.
And it was just a free show. So we would just do an open mic, but improv.
Yeah.
Just in a Brisbane pub in the early 2000s. And
Fuck.
had no idea how fucking crazy that was. And we'd ask the crowd for offers and be like, oh, you can't come into my morgue, Tim. And, all the bullshit improv scenes or whatever.
That sounds so fun, but...
Looking back, it was just like, because I knew no different. I was like, yeah, this is what you do.
Yeah.
But now I look back, I'm like,
Oh my
fuck, man, that was
God.
actually crazy.
Yeah.
And a few of those guys were doing stand-up.
Yep.
A couple of them. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's crazy. You do stand-up? That's fucking nuts.
Were you a comedy fan at the time? Like stand-up comedy fan?
That's the thing. I mean, just like what you had at that time, which was like Eddie Murphy was big. YouTube hadn't happened yet, right? Smartphones hadn't happened yet.
It was
So,
a crazy
like,
time.
Comedy was like just the legendary
Yeah.
specials that you'd seen.
Yeah.
Just no exposure at all, but like Delirious and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Occasionally
That was
being
about
able to
it.
stay up late enough to catch something
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah, totally. And that was what it was all about. And so comedy and stand-up was just like, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. That's
You
so
know.
cool.
Yeah. So
They had starry eyes when people said they were
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. And like Louis C.K. hadn't happened yet either. And I think that
wow.
was a big shift
Yeah.
when he broke out on YouTube. And it was just it was just these pub comics, and there was no Melbourne International Comedy Festival or any of that. No one was doing that in Brisbane.
Yep.
Nobody had ever. I mean, people had, but it wasn't like nobody had a festival show or anything like that. And people weren't into comedy at that time.
And Brisbane didn't have its own comedy festival at that point either?
No, God, no.
Wow.
That was started by Josh Thomas.
Oh,
Who
really?
came onto the scene after
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
So yeah.
Shit.
So when I started, it was like, it wasn't a cool thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cool thing at all. Like nobody was like, man, I want to be a comedian. It was just like this weird pub thing
Yeah.
you kind of did.
Yeah.
And it was only when social media started happening, all these people started wanting to be comedians and stuff. Like, because that world just didn't exist really in Australia or in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Maybe more so Melbourne. But like, I mean, in America, it would have been different because you
Of
would have had
course.
all the institutions.
So much more of a history there. I mean,
Right. Yeah. But in
started
Queensland, without the internet.
there. Yeah.
Without the internet as we know it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, so when you started getting into it, I know some names of people that you started with, but I imagine that would forge some pretty fierce friendships because you're kind of there in the fire, right?
Yeah, well, more so like what you would know as our generation.
Yeah, okay.
Like the older dudes, I still have pretty big respect for, and certainly happy to see them when I run into them. Guys like Steve Allison and I don't know who else is still really around. So Kat Davidson.
Yep.
These kind of people. Stav, obviously.
Of course.
You know, it's just a different thing. But then came Josh Thomas. Matt O'Kine.
Yep.
Dave Eastgate came back from doing street performing at Universal Studios in Japan. So he was just like, I remember watching him perform going, holy shit. He's still one of the best comedy performers in Australia, in my opinion. But yeah, he was just
wow.
like some other level, man.
Yeah.
Because he was just doing street performing.
Yeah.
He'd just have a guitar and he did comedy in multiple languages and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a
fucking
freak,
hell.
Dave Eastgate.
Yeah, I mean, and just seeing someone who's so good at just grabbing everyone's attention, which is so
man.
necessary in Queensland as well.
So
It's
crazy.
like crazy
Yeah,
pub people.
it was just a different level.
Fuck.
I remember giving him a lift to a gig. We were just like first time we'd hung out. Just when we forged a friendship, and I gave him a lift to some gig in the Northern Rivers, and it was a wedding, and I was just like open mic.
Yeah.
Like I was doing like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was a wedding, and the two parties, whatever that may be, split by bride and groom, whatever, hated each other.
Oh no.
So there was this pool, and I'm just not involved, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just giving him a lift.
Yeah.
There was a pool, and then on one side is fucking this family that hate, and then over the other side is this family, and then there's all these kids. And Eastgate is doing this musical comedy with his guitar. He's entertaining the kids. I remember him like running towards the kids while he's playing, then them, then them, then them, then out, then down, and like just had this whole fucking outdoor thing around, you know, like just doing this thing. It was crazy. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just a set of skills that isn't really valuable to the world we live in, you know, because it's all like clips and videos
Yes.
and your special and your
Yes.
point of view. And
Yeah.
but he could fucking like, man, crazy.
I think that's such a cool skill, though. It seems to be something that comes, especially previous generations, out of Queensland, because it's been just wrangling people in general is half the battle at so many gigs, or it has been.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there is an element of fighting.
Yeah,
which you would have even experienced.
Totally.
even
Especially
newer.
when you exit the inner city area and gig anywhere else around
Yeah.
Queensland. I remember seeing that just in Melbourne earlier this year. There's the one open mic that everyone calls the Brisbane Room, or they call it
really?
the Bear Pit and all this sort of stuff. And
Brisbane Room.
I got there and I'm like, these people love comedy. They're here for comedy. They're just a little chatty and need to be like, you need to get their attention.
Yes.
And that's all it is. But so many people are like, oh God, I couldn't get them.
Yeah.
They're like kids, but learning that skill to just get everyone,
Yeah.
hey, like eyes up here, is so helpful.
It is, yeah, you're right. You're so right. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because it does seem to be something that doesn't really have value anymore, because people get in these nice clubs and they're able to have their jokes heard and
They're spoiled.
enthusiastically engaged, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It's great.
Which is great.
It's really nice.
But I guess those rooms you have to fight. And you're right, they're in every state.
Mm-hmm.
Queensland just has more of them more often.
Yeah.
I would say more.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say is just like it's a small scene and you more often come across those gigs like
Yeah.
quite often.
Yeah.
Whereas like it might be the same room and it can be great one night, but you get that more. And whereas in other cities like Melbourne and Sydney, there's like way more cool gigs and you run across it less often, but you still have it. Like
It's
people
still
have
there.
it. But I think when you're coming up in Brisbane, you have to really learn. You really learn to do those gigs.
Yeah,
You know what I
do.
mean? Like you
do.
have to do them.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
nowhere to hide, kind of thing.
Yeah. I love it. We're getting into our time here, and I have some
wow.
sleepover games for us to play. But I do want to ask you.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I do want to ask you quickly about your web series.
Oh,
Again
great.
recently.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's not by any means the first on screen. You've done a lot of on screen stuff before.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Is this the first thing though where it's been with so many friends?
Yeah, well, the difference is between this and like other group things. The True Aussie Patriots was cool with me and Ann Edmonds and Greg Larson.
Yep.
And Fancy Boy was like a big movement that started live, and that was a whole generation of people that are still doing stuff today, which is really cool. The difference is this is my thing. That's the difference, because I craved that stuff because we, you know, throughout the time I'd done comedy outside of what I call, I guess, traditional stand-up, you know, guy telling, you know, stories with a mic, conversational or whatever. That sort of crazy comedy that's really like out there. Yeah, I was like, well, if you're going to do it, you have to do it. You have to do it yourself, kind of thing.
Are you a control freak?
When it comes to my thing, I'm definitely,
I completely relate to that.
Yeah, I think if you're creating something, like you're totally allowed to be. I mean, yeah, you know, I try not to push that onto people, but like people, like everyone I know that I respect and stuff really get like that.
Yeah,
because they have the thing in their head and you're making it and they go, no, I told you not like that. No, like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, man, I fucking, because you know.
Yeah. So what was it like working with all of your friends or a bunch of your friends on your thing? Did any friendships break up?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah. No, it was all good, really. I think like guys like Becky Lucas, Cameron James, Frankie McNair.
They're professionals, I guess, as well.
Sam less so because I'm quite good friends with Sam. So that was a bit different. And Henry as well. They're guys that we sort of came up with in Brisbane stuff. But those other guys are like people that I've been friends with. But living in Brisbane, it's been harder to stay in touch.
Yeah.
And I always felt that's probably the only thing about being in Brisbane because I'm up there obviously for my son.
Yeah.
And it's been great really being able to travel and like work up material there.
Yeah.
But there's always these moments in the year where I'm like, man, I wish I was down there with all my friends are down here.
Yeah.
Everybody we know sort of down here or in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So for those guys, I think to do something with them was actually really cool.
Oh, that's
like
so
I think
nice.
that they by all accounts, had a good time.
Yeah.
The footage turned out really good.
Yeah.
And I think it was like, yeah, we did something.
Yeah.
We finally did something together. How cool is that?
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good for friendships.
It was good for friendships. I could see that it would be difficult if we were creating it together.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, come up, I've got a little bit of money, I can get you here.
Yeah.
Could you be in this? This is the thing you do and say, and the whole thing is built, and they just turn up and that's I think great.
That's awesome. That's actually very helpful. I think those are some important factors like money. If you're getting, and probably also having known a lot of these people for a very long time helps. Yeah. But like, say you're getting a bunch of new friends to come do a thing and then fuck them over or something, that would be bad. That would be a bad way to produce something.
That's right. Yeah. You should definitely be upfront and honest about all that sort of things.
Oh my God, so true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think if you're in a project together and you're creating it together and you're working your ass off to make it, that's tough.
Yes.
It's tough on a relationship. Like couples get into all sorts of business, creative, whatever.
Totally.
And it's tough on, Brody and I, the other filmmaker I did it with, who put all his money in and put money in with me and put all his time and energy and his skills and into it as a director and an editor and stuff. We definitely didn't have a falling out or anything, but we're like spending hours together, laboring over the edit, hours and hours. Try that, try this music, cut that, and on set and like dealing with all the business because it's so self-produced. It's just like this tiny thing. So we're doing all the emails and all the stuff, and so that's like a way more pressure thing.
Yes.
But compared to stand up, the other stuff, like doing it all together, like the stuff that the performers and the actual cast working together, it's a good thing because we get to work as a team.
Yeah, exactly.
As
it seems so
to
nice.
Individual.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to do a lot of theatre camps and stuff, singing
Yeah,
camps and whatever as a
exactly,
kid.
yeah.
And it was just the best vibe. I cried so much when they ended because I was like,
Yeah.
those are some of my friends. We had the best time ever.
Yeah, totally. The
It'd be so
performance thing
nice.
bonds you and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cute. Okay, perfect place to leave it. Do you want to play some sleepover games with me?
What are the what
The
are
games?
the sleepover?
We have Would You Rather,
Would you
Fuck, Marry,
rather?
Kill. Oh, wait, no, actually, I couldn't think of anything. And the only thing I could think of for that was 3 of your friends. So let's not do that one.
Yeah, it might be uncomfortable.
Just Would You Rather and Truth or Dare. Do you want to play?
Okay, let's do it. Would you rather? Okay.
Okay.
I feel for some reason it makes me nervous because I'm like, I
Why
haven't
are
played
you so
kids
nervous?
games like this before. What do I?
You have a son.
I know, that's true. We never play games like this, but
No, that's
now's
fair.
the time to do it.
Now's the time. I think it's my way of having getting to know my guests better,
Okay.
because this whole podcast is just a ploy for me to make everyone my friend, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all trying to do that in life
Yeah,
secretly.
exactly. I'm just very upfront about it. It's quite
You've
embarrassing.
made it professional, which I respect.
Thank you. Okay. Would you rather always be taken seriously by everyone or have a minimum of 15 awkward social interactions a day?
Oh my god. I think I'd have to go with the awkward because
Yeah.
if it was serious all the time, I would start getting paranoid.
It'd be insane.
Yeah, because
be
I'd start going
crazy.
like, "Whoa, like, what do you guys really think about me?" Because you're not having the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the
totally.
weird-
You'd fundamentally change your personality. It would,
Yeah.
That sounds, okay. All right, that's too easy.
Sounds nightmarish.
What'd you say? Nightmarish.
Nightmarish,
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and 15 awkward social interactions is heaps of material.
Oh, true. Yeah, totally.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather never be able to do a drop-in spot at a comedy show or always have to perform where you are put in the lineup originally? Does this feel like an attack?
Jesus Christ. Would I rather never be allowed to do a drop-in spot,
Mm-hmm.
or I have to go where I'm told to go?
Lineup wise. So you can do drop-ins whenever. You can
But-
do your spots whenever, but you can never be like, hey, can I go on now? Because I don't want to stay here till 10:30.
Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd have to choose. I mean, you need the stage time, so I'd have to be put where I'm put.
Oh my God. Okay.
Which
You wouldn't just consider being able to leave and do your own thing and whatever, but just like book your spots ahead of time?
No,
No, fuck them.
nah, fuck that. Too much work.
Okay. All right. Fair. I respect it. Okay. Last game. Truth or dare?
Mm-hmm.
Truth or dare?
Truth or dare?
Mhm.
Oh,
You
right.
choose
So you
truth.
say it first?
Yeah.
Okay.
You choose truth or dare.
Oh my god. All right, go truth. Because I feel like a dare. Like I'm like, what are you gonna make me do? in this?
I have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I've always got ideas. Okay, truth. We're recording this on Are You Okay Day. So, Damien, truthfully, are you okay?
Well, I mean, obviously, I've been asked this frequently for the last 41 years. Truthfully, yes.
Fuck yeah.
No, I think maybe the happiest I've been in on average, because people I think talk about like happiness, like it's not like
Like
you're
it's a constant. I don't know. You ever been manic? It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine, but like I hear stories of manic people, like Kanye West. Yeah, no. Generally, I'm happier.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm enjoying my work more. Generally, I'm getting on with everyone in my life better, friends, family. Generally in a better place.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Fuck yeah. Ditto, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Everyone who's
great.
sad is stupid. They're doing it wrong. We're
Yeah,
nailing
that's,
it.
That's popular these days. Everyone who's sad is stupid. Let's clip that into a clip and put that as a reel.
Done. I
It's
will.
like those fitness freaks that sometimes get on Twitter and go, "Depression isn't real."
Go for a walk.
If you run like for half the day, then ice bath, and then eat just chicken, and then sleep under the moon, you fucking won't be sad, bro. It's like not all of us have that time, man.
We don't. Speaking of time, we're out of time. This is it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Do you want to tell everyone where to find you and the show again?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You can find me down the street. That's so dumb.
They got me.
If you look, oh, that's so dumb. The series is on YouTube. It's called Expanded Minds Only, and it's on a channel called Grouse House. And if you look up Auntie Donna, if you're a fan of them, they will be posting about it and have links to it as well. And me, you just search my name, and I put on all my gigs. I'll be touring next year, and we've got a special coming out in October.
Ooh.
These plugs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I love that. I'll put the link to your socials and also to the show in the show notes. You'll know where to find me. Please
down
do.
the street. Sorry, so dumb.
I'm under any pile of blankets, actually. Just take a peek and I'll be there. No, you guys know where to find me, but follow the pod on the friend request pod on Instagram. Send me an email, send me a message, do whatever. Reach out. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.